Hello, good afternoon to you wherever you're watching us from. This it's your favorite, the Neighbourhood TV. We're here again with another edition of Nigeria Today on TNTV. You may be guessing what are we here for today. I am glad to tell you that we're here for an interesting discussion on budget padding in Nigeria. What did I say? Budget padding in Nigeria. There have been arguments about the functions of budgets in a nation's development. What role does a budget document play in the economic and social development of a people, of a nation? Arguments have raged on over the financial illiteracy in some places, hindering most Nigerians from full participation in government and clearly understanding governance and government activities across all spheres of life. While budget is an important tool in governance and most relevant to a nation's economic policies, we tell you that it is the second most important document after the constitution of any country. But today in Nigeria, budget has become an instrument for drama. Yes, for drama. At National Assembly, a lot of drama go around Nigeria's budget. And so today we shall be looking at two particular budgets. Nigeria's budget of last year, 2016, and an introduction of a beautiful phrase, pardon, and also the budget proposed so far for 2017. Join us as we dissect Nigeria's budget system. I'll be back after this break.
Nigerians, our fearless officers and men of the Nigerian military are winning the war against Boko Haram. Today, all occupied territories have been recovered and Boko Haram has been degraded. Our affected brothers and sisters are getting their lives back. However, they are now after you and me. In our mosques, churches, schools, motor parks, markets, entertainment centers, and public gatherings. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me. Nigeria unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
When on Wednesday, December 14, 2016, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari led before the National Assembly a budget proposal of about 7.28 trillion naira, Nigerians were expectant that the National Assembly will go straight into business to discuss and quickly as they could pass that proposal into law, because, like we said in our introduction, a nation's economic strength and success lies so much on its budgeting and how the government administers its annual budget. But between December 2016 and today, June, more than 6 months, Nigerians have not known what will be the final copy of that particular document. A good financial knowledge is required in today's daily activities if we are to detect fraud where it happens in various businesses and prevent siphoning of public funds, which of course has characterized all facets of Nigeria's government activities, whether local or state or at the federal level. Nigerians daily hear of missing trillions, billions recovered in Ikoyi houses, supermarkets in Abuja and Lagos. Nigerians would hope that the budget for this year was going to work to arrest all such situations. Alas, Nigerians are still waiting. It signifies that budget is an expression of the constitution and statutes of government, which endow the executive and legislature with designated financial and managerial responsibilities, while the lawmakers, by our constitution, are to vet a proposal made by the president. They will do so and send back to the president for his assent. But making the Nigerian budget has always caused chaos in this country. A lot of dramas, a lot of issues. We will tell you all those things as we make progress. For instance, in 2014, under the former President Goodluck Ebele Azikiwe Jonathan, the budget in that year had a lot of challenges, as you will see right now on a clip which I show you right on your screen. You could see on your
Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the founder of Okonjonomics, is saying no to Nigerians. But let me give Nigerians the good news. There is hope in the horizon. Amen. The medicine is there, Mr. President. That medicine is a compound mixture of aspirin, palacetin, and caffeine, APC, which has worked for Nigeria before. And to administer that medicine, Mr. President, we have the good hands of GMD, General Muhammadu Buhari. She has failed us, she has failed this country. We will no longer accept it. I want to call on her again and again and again that she should resign and go back and work for the World Bank. I know she has contributed a lot for the World Bank in terms of creating more riches for certain countries and creating poverty for many other countries, including Nigeria. Yeah. Thank you.
And I have this to read, Mr. President. Just listen, distinguished colleagues. Presidential amnesty program, and my brothers here, nobody should feel I'm not for amnesty. I am for it 100%, even more. Presidential amnesty program, 23.6 billion. Reintegration of ex-militants, 35.4 billion. Total, 59 billion. While total budget for the Nigerian army is 4.8 billion. Ministry of Defense headquarters, that includes Army, Navy, Air Force, 34 billion. Mr. President, are we serious? We are not serious. Excuse me please. The ex-militants are only 30,000. How many people are in the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force? I'm not saying we shouldn't give them. We should give them. But we must fund the security personnel properly. Mr. President, I believe that the burden that we carry in our state is something that you are aware of, and most people here are aware. Now, we have in this proposal 2 billion naira, 2 billion, 2 billion for Northeast Development Initiative. We reject that. We reject that. We are not taking anything like that. And let me read this for the benefit of my brothers and sisters from the Niger Delta. I have nothing against anybody. But listen to this. Listen to this. 61.94 billion statutory allocation to the NDDC. 61.94. Statutory. 49.193 billion to the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. Not especially the multiplicity of allocation of East-West Road, totaling 22 billion. Mr. President, a total of 163.13 billion is going. I support that. We give them. But we we must fund the Northeast to recuperate, to be rehabilitated, to make our lives better.
Controversies, and endless controversies. What is on your screen there? Where controversies that surrounded the 2014 national budget under the former president, Goodluck Ebele Azikiwe Jonathan. You could see the former finance minister, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who was on the floor of the National Assembly with the document rather than the president. So a lot of controversies and endless controversies. Then in 2015, Nigerians thought it was going to be a different game altogether. Nigerians thought that those unnecessary controversies would have been taken care of before the budget would have been laid before the National Assembly. While 2015 witnessed a controversial event where the Minister of Finance, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, presented a 4.3 trillion naira budget to the National Assembly, which raised legal comments, as it was the duty of the president to present the budget to the National Assembly. And so, with the new administration came new tactics. Then, as Nigerians left that year to 2016, they had expected that it was going to be a different game altogether. In that year, Nigeria had its biggest blow as the first time in the country's history. The hard and the soft copies of the budget were declared missing. Have you ever heard such a thing? Nigerians woke up one morning and were told that both the hard copy and the soft copy of that budget grew overnight and flew away to nowhere. Nigerians were really apprehensive. What could be going on at the National Assembly? The Senate accused then the senior special assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on National Assembly matters for the Senate, Senator Eta Enang, that he was responsible for the disappearance of the Senate of that budget, and he was also accused of changing contents of what the president had presented to them for consideration in that appropriation bill before making the document available to the lawmakers. Senator Eta Enang denied all those allegations, yet it didn't solve the problem.
From the executive.
All that is important to us is to see, based on what was brought originally and the copies that we have for distribution, are they the same? The best I can tell you right now is that they are not.
Itaining the SSA to the president on NAS matters, printed copies of the 2016 appropriation bill and brought to the Senate. We have discovered that what he brought is different from the version presented by the Mr. President. We have resolved to consider only the version presented by Mr. President as soon as we received soft copy of the original document from the executive.
You heard Nigeria's Senate President Bukola Saraki alleging that the controversy was created by the SSA to Mr. President on National Assembly matters for the Senate, a former senator himself, Eta Enang. And then, soon as that was made public by the Senate President, a former Nigerian president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Don't go, please. Don't go, please. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This afternoon, sir. You're visiting this time around, Your Excellency.
I'm visiting this time because I have some messages for the President. Not too long ago, I was in Liberia, I was in Gambia, and the presidents of these two countries have messages that they would want me to deliver to the president. Also, only yesterday I came back from Seychelles Island, where I attended this year's annual general meeting of Africa Export-Import Bank. And there were aspects of the proceedings during that meeting that I should update the president. That's all I think.
Excellency, you must be worried about the issue of corruption in the National Assembly that has now come up in the open, buttressing one of your statements in the past that the National Assembly is filled with corruption.
Well, if you say that I have said it in the past, and if there are people who didn't believe what I said in the past, then you now say that what has come out confirm what I have said in the past. Then you can say what I have said in the past is what I will say now.
Would you want to call an investigation into this issue of padding of budget? How would you want it to be investigated?
No, it's not a question of investigation. We should get men and women of integrity in the place, and the president should be very vigilant. Whatever should not pass, should not pass.
So look at this one.
That was Nigeria's former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who expressed his position on the issue of the missing budget and all the drama that surrounded it. After various investigations, the missing budget miraculously, yes, miraculously, returned. But this time, had lots of accidents all over his body, in what Nigerians came to term padding. Even our president, Muhammadu Buhari, had this to say.
I never knew what is called padding until this year. They allowed us to talk and do our Dogon Turanci. I went and presented the budget, and then they decided to pad it. It's a very, very embarrassing and disappointing development, which I think we wouldn't allow to go.
What a funny situation, that even our president said he never heard, he never knew anything that was known by that phrase, padding, until last year. Nigerians, being creative, we always add to the lexicon of the English. And so, our president, Muhammadu Buhari, bared his mind on that. But before we continue, Nigerians also, during that scenario, made comments. We would like you to listen to what Nigerians said as at that time.
Pardon is true, then the people involved should face the consequences. They should be removed from the office.
It has just been signed recently, but even before it is signed, there was a time I heard the budget got lost or something like that, or so many things like that. It affects the country and it affects we that are not.
They should be tried. That's just it. They have done it for themselves. They're not for Nigerians.
All of them are rogues. Wow. All of them, they should execute them. Pata pata.
Final verdict.
Final, because those people are corrupt. People are suffering in this land. And they just make sure, there's some things they should do. Maybe go and protest. Make sure these people get prosecuted, because these people, they are just, it's absurd. This thing is not found anywhere in the world. You are pardoning, then you are telling others that thing is not criminal. What the that's criminal of the highest order. Get them executed or send them packing. Jail some of them, maybe it will be a deterrence to others.
Gather them and kill all of them because they are using our funds for their own family, which other people are suffering. And we don't want that. And they should follow the new administration's agenda. That's all. So they should be killed, all of them.
It only shows to us that we have, of course, like we have always done, we have very wrong people in government, from local government to the federal government. So we have by now, I think by now, Dogara should have probably resigned, but he won't resign because he knows about Saraki's case.
Budget property is corruption. Okay. So that any person that did it must not go unpunished. APC is talking of corruption. The people they put this inside to command the government, all of that corrupt from the bottom to the top. Buhari has a good intention for Nigeria, but people that he put have no good intention. They after their pockets.
You have an unserious parliament, and unserious parliament can be there without unserious voters. Look at what happened in the Senate like 2-3 weeks ago. Somebody trying to impregnate somebody, and the other guys that is trying to impregnate the other person said the person is on menopause. You understand? Look at what is being discussed on the floor of our National Assembly. So it's a charade that we all should be very ashamed of.
Imagine the Constitution has already been passed, and at the end of the day, the senators, begin to, do one of probably, let's say 1 + 1 or 2 - 2, or begin to do a bit of magic in there. So for me, I think it is actually wrong. It is very, very wrong. So I think they should be jailed. They should all be jailed. If being caught.
People cannot just wake up, add figure, and share it among themselves at the expense of the masses who are suffering. Today, there's hardship.
So what do you think should be done to those involved in this?
People should be punished.
How should they be punished? What kind of punishment?
Well, the people should resign voluntarily. Apart from resigning, they should go to jail.
Look at the way Dugara is talking. He's talking as if he's the boss, like he's our boss. And Nigerians, of course, anybody who is in government is the boss to Nigerians. Ordinarily, he's supposed to be a servant, public servant. Look at what happened in England. These English people. That guy just left, may enter, nothing, no newspaper, nothing, no church service, no Eagle Square madness, nothing. The guy just left, the other woman comes in. Simple. But the guy thinks, of course, stupid people, normal stupid people. How can you say budget padding is not corruption? It's the same thing. When Jonathan was there, Jonathan said, stealing is not corruption. So what is budget padding? They should be in prison.
Something extra is added to the budget and is not actually signed for. That is actually stealing the money. You have to arrest them now, EFCC. What else do you need to do?
Padding is.
Nigerians, as you saw on that clip, were not in any disagreement whether there were pardons or not. They agreed there were. And you could see them. They had a consensus on what should be the punishment for such persons who could be found guilty in doing that. Then in 2017, another scandal is brewing around the budget. First, the National Assembly jacked the figure of 7.28 trillion to 7.44 trillion. That is an extra 143 billion naira extra. They jacked their own figure of 115 billion naira to 125 billion naira. As it stands today, there is a new controversy. The acting president has said he will sign only on 2 conditions. Don't also forget, why the drama lasted, senators claimed that some policemen who raided the Abuja residence of the Senate Committee Chairman on Appropriation and Finance, Senator Danjuma Goje, took away the document. Finally, like in 2016, eventually, that document reappeared, but this time with figures that have been altered. Insertion of 400 projects that were never part of what President Buhari submitted to them. They claimed those 400 projects were for local governments. Yet Nigerians are asking, from where will these things be funded? Their answer was that because they increased the oil benchmark from what the president.
The papers are not around. We could not keep to the timetable you gave us to lay the budget yesterday to get it passed today. And I think it is not our own fault. It is the fault of the police. The police interfered with the whole budget process.
Senate President Bukola Saraki expressed concern that 5 days after the raid of the home of Senator Danjuma Aguje, the police has not informed the senator why his home was raided and documents seized.
Informally, the chairman of the police committee told me this morning that the police are saying that it is something to do with whistleblower. If it is to do with whistleblower, then and that the whistleblower misled them. So if the whistleblower misled them, I think, and that this matter I think a matter that has come out publicly like this to embarrass a senator, I think the police owe it not only to him, to the entire country, to the process of a civilized society to come up and accept responsibility.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has resolved to summon the Inspector General of Police over the raid on the home of Senator Danjuma Aguje. The House reached this resolution after a...
While budget padding continued, senators had their take on the issue.
Let me start, Mr. President, by saying that this is the second ritual for this government to bring a budget proposal to these chambers. And after this, there will be only one more major budget. And there is the need for this government to look at the budget and ensure that it meets all its pronouncements and all its aspirations as espoused when it was coming into government. Let me say, Mr. President, that the two budgets so far have not met the benchmark proposed by this government. Mr. President, we're in recession, and let me state clearly that there are two critical areas to drive this country and ensure that money is in the hands of the ordinary man.
In the State House budget, it says here, 123 million to buy catering equipment and materials. I don't know. Did they throw away the one they did last year? They spent 94 million last year to buy catering equipment. They're coming back again to buy another catering equipment. What are they doing in that State House that they're always buying catering equipment? I don't know. Something in the State House budget is even very, very funny. They have welfare for 209 million, honorarium and sitting allowance for 556 million. And we want to ask, if you're going to spend 765 million for honorarium and welfare, is that a university where they're paying people to come and sit there? I thought that is a State House. I don't understand this type of provision that is in there. So we must also ask ourselves, for those in that State House who were claiming that we in this National Assembly were buying vehicles, there's a provision for almost, how many? 5 BMW cars. And they say we don't need vehicle, but they're buying for themselves. What are they doing with it? Of course, 5 Toyota Land Cruisers. That same place. And we're going around and asking. They're also buying computers and equipment. And we want to ask, every year, this our budget will come with computers. Now we have more than 200 million for computers. All computers, what are they doing with the computers? The one they bought last year, did they throw them away? And so that's why I said that the more things change, the more they look the same. And we want to know who is leading who here. And that's why I'm asking, Mr. Leader, I have seen your every good thing that you have written here. And you have
before we leave here, here is an outline of the 2017 federal government appropriation bill of, you said earlier, about 18.2 billion US dollars. The budget comprises a capital component of 2.24 trillion. As you can see on the screen there, representing about 30% of total expenditure, while the current budget amounts to about 5 trillion. The budget aims to continue Nigeria's diversification and job creation efforts with emphasis on agriculture, manufacturing, solid minerals and services. And recently, Nigeria's Minister for National Plan and Budget says it was planned to end Nigeria's recession. Further graph shows revenue is 3.9 trillion in 2016, while in 2017 it is targeted at 4.7 trillion with a budget deficit of 2.3 trillion. That's the match we have for you today, our viewer, and we are most delighted you have been part of today's program. Keep on watching us on TNTV. As you can see on your screen, you can watch us on the Neighborhood newspaper, the Neighborhood Live, all on Facebook. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, the Neighborhood TV. Watch us on our website, tntvonline.com. Download our mobile app for your Android, iOS, and all other media. You can also leave your comments on any of our social media platforms. Thank you for being part of this program. I won't forget to say a big kudos to my team here. Wonderful team I have here. I have, as usual, the cameraman Damian is here. We have Awaji, I have Tarts, and I have Chinwe. They all have made today's program beautiful and possible. Same time, God willing, next week, Tuesday, I shall be here on Nigeria Today on TNTV. Until then, we say bye from Nigeria's beautiful city, the city of Port Harcourt. Thank you.